And it starts now. All right. So before we started recording, there was a TikTok that came up, and he said this is what I think he said one of three, maybe one of four ways, or this is one of four videos. And if you got this video, this is how you do blank. And he was accurate. This is how I do blank. So I'm gonna ask you guys, anybody who's listening, a fresh loaf of bread you bought from the store. You just opened it up. You pulled what you needed out to make whatever you're about to make. How do you put it back? How do you close it?
Yeah, that's the way right there. That's the only way, honestly.
Yeah, I'm a twist tuck guy.
It depends. For me, it's for like when there's most of the loaf left, I'll still use the twist tie. It's like when it starts to be like very little bread left in the thing, then I'll twist and tuck it, because it's just like I'm not gonna tie off like this much fucking bread plastic or whatever for like this much paper or bread paper. The fuck.
I want you guys to run like just give me a random number.
7.
Oh, 8.
8. I throw it 8 yards to my right. As soon as I unlock it, that twist tie, I throw it. I don't care what direction it goes, and I immediately twist and tuck. I'm a twist and tuck the whole entire loaf. I don't have time to fucking. And then when I want some more bread,
I mean,
for another time.
It's literally I just pinch it at the base and twist it like that, like, and that's that.
Swish
like,
and flick.
I'm not like sitting there like twisting the shit out of it.
You leave your bread in the original wrapping. You don't have a designated plastic bread container that says bread for the aesthetic.
Do you? I'm sorry.
No, but lots of people do. Natalie watches organizational TikTok. They'll like take the Ziploc bags out of the Ziploc bag box and put it in a different box. I'm like, it comes in a box. It literally
comes in a box specifically for Ziploc bags to peel them out like one by one. Like it's an efficient box. They worked at that.
Facts.
It had R&D dedicated to that box, and you're just taking their hard work and throwing it out the window.
I don't know. I definitely I wouldn't personally I wouldn't go through the effort to like organize my shit like that, but I do see the appeal in doing it that way.
I get the appeal as well.
I see the appeal in certain
I
things.
do it one good time, and that would be it.
But that's like the people who get like the Coke dispensers. Like the 12 can but is designed to be a Coke dispenser. It's got perforated stripes. When you pick one up, the gravity pushes another one down. Like, you don't need a box for that. The box is made for that. It's perfectly engineered to distribute your Cokes directly to the front of the refrigerator. And I don't even drink soda at the house.
Got a point.
It's very Seinfeld or some Larry David shit.
What's the deal with Coke boxes?
Now, the only organization video that I've seen that I've been wanting to do is getting fresh fruits and whatnot, like grapes, and just having it as an open container in the fridge. So when I'm hungry, I just grab grapes and go.
Speaking of fresh fruits, I saw a TikTok and it blew my mind. Did you know that ripe bananas have an enzyme that ripens bananas? Like if you have ripe bananas and you put unripened bananas on top of them, they'll ripen faster because of the enzyme that's leached out of the banana.
That's not what I thought you meant.
I did not know that.
I think it's always something new with bananas.
Right? Crazy.
Always.
I think the longer the stalk of the banana, the longer it stays ripe. Or does it before it over ripens, I guess?
Makes sense. Yes.
I don't know. Some Asian man on TikTok told me that.
If you had to choose between super early in the banana lifespan where it's hard and almost sour, or super late where it's brown soup, which one are you doing? Yeah, I'm early as well.
I've seen people eat
I get the booger feel,
and they eat it, and I'm like, I will kill you today. There's
or the people who don't get rid of the brown part.
Gross.
I've seen someone just take a big old bite. There's a big old brown oval on the left side, looking like fucking Nathan's blanket on the back of his chair. It's just not today, so I can't make that reference with any accuracy.
I would take the brown mushy shit and make motherfucking banana bread.
Banana bread at work, dude. Hell yeah.
Banana bread.
Hell yeah.
That's what Emily does. She makes a ton of banana bread. I feel like sometimes she
Now
buys
she says she's well
just for the point.
Until we get a bunch of fruit flies because the bananas have been there for so long and then I have to throw them away.
Speaking of weird scenarios and trying to think ahead, I saw a post that was, would you rather have $600,000 in cash or $600,000 in pennies?
That was $60,000 in cash and $600,000 in pennies.
Oh, was it? What? That's a specific question.
It is, but there was that one answer that was like $60,000. $600,000 in pennies is just $6,000. Stupid. Like what? It's $600,000 just in pennies.
Well, because I misread it, I did a bunch of math to see if the copper and the pennies would be worth more than the initial $600. It's like $40,000 short.
Interesting.
I mean, when you're doing it based off the wrong number, yeah.
Oh yeah, you saw me do it. You saw me get the math numbers.
No, you just
said you can't sell pennies as copper.
I was trying to find out the value of copper that is in a single penny, and then the total number of $600,000 worth of pennies, and see if that is worth more than $600,000.
I thought you said you thought it was 600,000.
Yeah, you thought
pennies.
that was your first mistake.
No, that's what you said.
Shut
you
up.
Literally said, "Oh, I thought it was 600,000 pennies."
No, he said it was $600,000 in cash or $600,000 in pennies.
Damn.
First.
Maybe I'll put this.
Pennies mostly steel and zinc anyway.
Yeah, but I mean, 600. It's like 60 million pennies. That's a lot of like.
There's 2.95 grams, or not grams, maybe grams of copper in a penny.
Isn't it 60 million?
What I just said.
Oh, I think it said 600
Yeah, Nathan
million.
or you can't listen today, huh?
Yeah. Well, I am
this ain't a fucking comment. How about you shut the fuck up, you stupid bitch? All right, I just asked a goddamn question, you fuck. I'm not gonna roll over.
Yeah, I mean, you don't listen. It is what it is. Moving on.
So some kids got.
What?
Did you guys not see that TikTok of that the daycare?
Huh?
Oh, what were you guys thinking of?
No shot.
I wasn't thinking of anything.
Shot, you're setting me up like this. Not like this, Drew.
Yeah, it's like a daycare, and like they came in as
It's a rough start.
I think it was like a Paw Patrol character, and they're all scared.
Oh,
like kids are with. Yeah, it's pretty funny. Had like 3 million or likes on
I was
TikTok.
thinking of something completely different that had to do with children. That's happened recently.
I don't even know. I don't even know. What you talking about?
You really don't? You're gonna bait me? You're gonna bait this out of me, huh? Unfortunately,
No, I feel like this isn't like solid podcast material at all. I'm really not trying to have that conversation like here. Like it's
No, it was. Yeah, I know what you guys talking about.
our platform, you know.
on a completely different note, a complete change of subject, Hunter x Hunter is coming back. And I am the most excited I've been in quite some time.
It's coming back as the manga.
Hey, I'll get into the manga just for this.
So before they announced it, I've made the decision to like rewatch the anime because I've just been seeing so much Hunter x Hunter like clips. I'm like, oh, this show's really good. I need to rewatch it. So I started rewatching it, and then a week later they announced that he's worked on at least 4 or 6 chapters since then. And I decided to start reading the manga, and I'm about like 35 chapters into the manga where the anime stops. Gon is in 1.5 of those chapters.
What's it all about?
It's about the Dark Continent. So spoilers, but not spoilers, because it's like within the first 5 chapters of where the anime ends off. The world that we've explored so far is like an island in a big lake, and then the world that surrounds the lake that the humans live in, which is literally the size of like our planet, like landmass wise, is called the Dark Continent, and they're trying to go explore that. And like Parapika is like a crime boss, and Lorio is Leorio, and there's like other things with Gun that's kind of spoilery that I won't talk about. But yeah, now 1.5 chapters he's in, they dropped that bomb on you, and then I haven't seen him since. Hisoka, and I just read the Hisoka and Chrollo fight.
Oh, lit.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Pretty fucking good.
I'm pretty excited for the new season of Stranger Things that comes out Friday. Or I guess the last season.
It's the first half of the first season.
The first half of the last season.
They do that for everything now.
Yeah. I don't understand why they call it 2-part and not just like, yeah, we've got 2 seasons left.
Yeah. Well, it's like give or take because they're doing... So like for Ozarks, all of the Ozarks seasons were 10, right? And then they did the last season and they did it 2 parts, each was 7, right? So the first part wasn't long enough to be a full season, but both parts together were too long to be a season. So they just like split it.
I saw that like in the interviews, all the kids are saying like it's like the darkest season that they've done, but it's like that's just kind of like the show's theme. It like progressively gets darker. Like that's how that's how the Harry Potter. Like I feel like that's just how that genre of shit goes. Like it's how the Harry Potter movies were too. Like they just get progressively more and more fucked up until the resolution happens.
I feel like as the kids get older too, that's kind of what plays a part in it, right? So, you know, it's kind of like the Maze Runner, like the Maze Runner first one, like just a bunch of kids acting goofy in a field, right? Is essentially the storyline. And then the last one's like the world's ended and everybody's sick with zombie shit and they're like traveling the fucking desert world getting high off crazy materials. Like I feel like that's all like kid books. As they age, the shit gets more intense.
Yeah, when it comes to books, it's because the audience gets older, so you get a little bit more loosey-goosey with it.
Those.
Yeah, I personally have watched 1.5 seasons of Stranger Things.
I watched all of them.
I've been trying to
about it.
I'm hyped about it, but I've been trying to rewatch, and season 1 is just like kind of hard to rewatch.
Yeah, I haven't tried to rewatch it. I just remember when season 1 dropped, I really liked it. Like I binged watched. Is it 8 episodes?
Yeah.
I know you just watched it, Nathan.
Not season. I did do a rewatch recently, but I literally think I started at like season. I started on season 2. I skipped the first season.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think it's maybe 8, maybe 10 episodes, and I got through most of it before I had to go to work, and then when I got home, I finished it. I really enjoyed it, and then I think season 2, I was just like, eh. Like I got halfway through because I remember looking over behind my shoulder, and I recognized the scene that you were watching, but.
It's like so far it's each season I've liked enough to like still be curious enough to see like where they're going with it. So
yeah.
I feel like season 1 is the biggest one that's ruined by like spoilers. Like it's hard to watch because it's like a big reveal movie like Shutter Island, right? Like once you know what's happening, you watch it once more to see like it from with the new point of view, but then afterwards it's kind of hard to rewatch. Because it's spoiled.
There are some things that have a twist. It really just depends on the storytelling. Because like, if there's a lot of foreshadowing that is overlooked your first time viewing, and then you go back and rewatch, and you're like, "Oh, it was right in front of me the whole entire time." I think that can be fun.
Like Oceans, all the Oceans movies.
Yeah, stuff like that.
Sixth Sense, where like he's dead the whole time, and you're like, it's completely obvious once you know that he's dead.
Yeah. Or Attack on Titan, but stuff like that is like really. I don't know. I think it's like super fun. It's like
I don't know if I could rewatch Attack on Titan from the beginning.
I've done it 3 times, so. And there's like characters react a certain way to certain situations that like are a dead giveaway, and you're just like, ah.
That's kind of how, I mean, granted, it was because the last season was complete garbage, but that's how I feel about Game of Thrones. Like, the payoff was, like, shit enough for me to be like, I'm not putting myself through that again.
I got lucky enough that I started on, like, season 4, and then I just rewatched it every season, right? So it was good enough before the last season where you could rewatch it over and over again.
For sure.
And so I've seen, like, the first 4 seasons, like, 4 times, right? And then like the 5th season 3 times, and then like so on and so forth. However, that math breakdown. And then I've seen the whole series from start to finish twice. I rewatched it after everything. I watched it right when everything dropped. I watched 1 through 7, and then watched it live. And then like 2 years later, I watched the whole show from episode 1 to like the last episode of season 8. Mm-hmm. All the way through nonstop.
Like I've maybe rewatched it a couple of times, and that's just because like the seasons came out so far in between each other. Sometimes, like not all the time, but I also didn't like really get into it until like season 3 or 4 maybe. And that's just because like I was doing the HBO Go trial or HBO Max trial, whatever it was at the time, for Ballers, I think. Which is like, it's an alright show. Didn't hate that show. But after I finished Ballers,
say it. We all know what you're thinking.
I was waiting for one of y'all to say it.
Why'd you put your finger up?
I was actually pointing on the screen.
God, I thought it was Eureka.
For those of you that don't know, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is the star of Ballers.
Would you call that a Rock movie or a Dwayne Johnson?
That's definitely Dwayne Johnson. Anyways, yeah, so like once I finished that, or once I caught up on that, I was just like, fuck it, I guess I'll give Game of Thrones a shot. And so I binged all the way into like the current season, and then I rewatched it a couple times until like while it was going on, just because like I said, like there was like 2 years between one of the seasons at some point or some shit.
Thinking about it right now, I honestly think shows, I don't know, some of my favorite things, like piece of media, whether it's like a show or a movie series or video games, some of the things that like I really appreciate is stuff that I was like, oh, the 6th season's about to come out. It looks kind of interesting. Let me just start from the beginning and then catch up. Like stuff that you have to catch up on, you can like binge real quick before you get like to the thing that's about to come out. Low-key makes things better. That's why like Mass Effect is one of my favorite game series, because I like literally played 1, 2 back to back, and 3 came out the next day. And then it's like my all-time favorite game series. That's why I think Attack on Titan's so good, because I just binged it and then the 4th season came out. Same thing with one of y'all just said it, but I think that like plays a factor in things. No, I mean, do you guys have like anything that you binge when stuff was about to come out?
I mean,
I do that with a lot of stuff. Thrones, yeah. I guess.
There's no, I didn't really do that with Dexter or with Breaking Bad. Breaking Bad's ending I liked. Breaking Bad overall I did think was an amazing show, but I just the tone of the show makes it really hard for me to rewatch for some reason.
It's also so old. Season 1, like I never finished Breaking Bad, and it's so hard to get through like season 1 and 2. I've seen the first 2 seasons, but whenever I like when we get into like deep conversation with someone about how good the show like turns out to be, I try to rewatch it, and the first season is so hard to watch because it's so I think it's hard to, old.
That's what I feel. Honestly, that's what I feel about most TV shows that have a like either a very successful run or like a very long run. Like if it's a super long run, like the first couple seasons I feel like are going to kind of suck because it's like the show maybe kind of like they had something, but they're still trying to find exactly what they're trying to do. And like, I kind of feel like that's definitely how Breaking Bad was. So they're like, I don't think that they probably thought that that show was going to end up being as popular as it turned out to be. Like, because I feel like it turned out to be like a national like hit where like everybody was fucking talking about it while it was going on.
Like I feel like the show's like top tier when he turns into a badass.
Yeah.
Like for the first 3 seasons, he's like a moderate. Like he's like a loser that does some badass shit.
Yeah.
And then he becomes a badass.
I was going to say with Nathan's theory, it's the opposite with another AMC show, which is The Walking Dead. I think the first few seasons are really, really good, and then it just...
Well, that's also the first... I know at least the first season had a different director, because, like, at some point... That was a show that I would rewatch, like, as the new seasons were coming out for a while until it, like, turned into hot garbage. But, like, I would notice in the first season, maybe the first couple seasons, even the way the zombies moved and did shit was different. Like, in the first season, they would literally run and, like, climb fences, and, like, there was, like, one of them using a rock to try to, like, break through a window. And then, like, in later seasons, they don't do any of that. They just fucking slowly move.
They're literally walkers.
Yeah, that show got... I kind of stopped. I fell off, probably around the time they killed off Glenn, and not because they killed him off. Like, I knew that was coming. Like, that happens in the comics, but it was just overall the show's like it lost its charm, I guess.
I didn't even get that far. I think I got to the prison season, like after the prison season when they like drive the truck through the fence. I think it's like, and then like that's when the cowboy hat guy like kind of gets kind of crazy, right, with his son.
Yeah.
Goro.
Yeah, he's like seeing his dead wife everywhere in the prison.
Yeah, I didn't even get to the part where Glenn dies from baseball bat boy.
That was a hard scene to watch. Like, I don't know, made me uncomfortable.
Now, you know they do it well.
Just like the level of graphicness and shit. Just like, ugh.
Like an on-air.
Like, I knew it was coming
novel.
Too. Yeah.
Have you seen the new trailer for House of Dragon? It looks good.
I did see it.
I'm pretty excited.
I did see some articles about like George R.R. Martin wanting that show to do better than like the Ring of Power show.
Did you see the new Ring of Power trailer? The one that came out like 3 weeks ago?
Oh yeah, I saw that one.
It's really animated from that one trailer.
I don't know. I feel like it's just something we'll have to wait and see. See what the story.
Like I really wanted it to lean toward more of Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. The Hobbit just like did so much CGI, like, and from this one trailer I just watched, it seemed like a lot of CGI.
Yeah, are they putting stupid money into
good or bad? You're getting 5 seasons.
Yeah,
no matter what.
The new trailer of Thor: Love and Thunder finally showed us
Thor's ass.
I haven't seen it either.
Well, you get to see Gore, the Christian Bale's character, for the first time, and he looks pretty sick.
It's dope.
People were saying he looked like Jared Leto's Joker.
I don't see that comparison at all. But, like, I've seen a lot of people, there's, like, I guess, like, comic purists that are super upset about it, that he doesn't look, like, comic book accurate, because I guess, like, I saw a post on Reddit of saying, like, Gore the God Butcher comic, or, like, a screen accurate, could be very similar to Ebony Maw. And I was like, yeah, I could see that. Like, they kind of look the same. And they probably could have done that. But most of the shit is also saying, like, why would you want to, like, put Christian Bale in prosthetics? Like, if you're going to go through the effort to get Christian Bale, like, you should probably let Christian Bale be seen. Like,
I agree. Also, how much was Ebony Maw in that movie? Like 15 minutes?
Yeah.
Like, I think it's doable for a 15-minute villain, but not a whole movie villain. It would be too distracting, I feel like.
Give me a background on this villain. He looks crazy.
His family's murdered. And then he just ends up going on a god-killing rampage and kills a bunch of gods.
It's that sword, right?
Yeah, he has the sword from Eternals that Jon Snow had at the end is Ebony Maw's sword. That's like it's like a dark blade. It's made out of something like specific. I can't remember what it is. But it's like used specifically to kill like celestial beings and shit. Like, I'm pretty sure it was used to like cut Nowhere's head off from Guardians of the Galaxy. Like, I'm pretty sure that's Gore the God Butcher. Like, is gonna be the person who killed Nowhere. Like, they'll probably set that up.
by this time this episode is out, the first 2 episodes of Kenobi will be out. What do we think we will see in the first 2 episodes?
I've been intentionally not watching the trailers because
Okay.
I want pureness.
What would you like to see in the first 2 episodes? There's 6 total, so
I would like to. I would, if they're doing a double drop, I would like to see a good Vader encounter in the second episode. Like maybe not like the fucking lava fight scene, but like a quick good encounter that sets up like, hey, maybe Vader gets the better of Obi, and then like it's a trek for him to master something or obtain something for him to then redeem himself in a final battle, something along those lines. Or like he's got a companion to get, like he loses the fight and a companion gets taken hostage and then he's got to get him back or something. I don't know. But I would like to see a Vader encounter early.
Don't know me.
Early? I figure if there is a Vader thing, it'll probably be at the end of the second episode.
For sure.
Like, to keep people, like, growling. I personally would like to see a
It'll be like a music cue at the end of the second episode.
As a Force spirit?
Because at the end of episode 3, Yoda's like, I'll teach you how to talk to your old master. And he goes, Qui-Gon Jinn. Or he goes, Qui-Gon. So that's what I'm hoping to see, personally.
That'd be dope.
Low-key one of my favorite shows.
I have zero expectations. None. Not one. So
my expectations
I don't know what I want to see.
For
I don't
nothing
really
specifically.
care. I'm going to watch it, but...
right.
You haven't even watched the second season of Mandalorian.
I haven't even watched...
You haven't watched the second? That's the...
I haven't even watched...
Oh my God.
Good season.
What's the...
That's the good season.
What's the other show? Book of Boba Fett. I haven't watched that either, so...
Hey man,
Mandalorian season 3.
Yeah, I haven't watched Mandalorian
There's
season 2
one
or
specific
3.
episode of that you...
Yeah, there's... In the Mando episodes of that show are fucking fire.
I watched the animated
so
Star Wars
good.
episodes. Can't remember the those either.
I still haven't even gotten through all of those.
Clone Wars
There's so
or
many.
Rebels?
No, I watched
Batman.
Clone Wars, not Rebels. It's the most recent.
Oh,
one.
you mean
Yeah,
Visions.
Star Wars Vision.
Yeah.
Watch that.
I've tried to watch the animated series several times, and I just cannot get started on them. It's like I get it.
I've made it
4 or
through the
5.
first 3 seasons.
There's only like 3 good ones.
3
in my opinion.
times.
There's one that's called The Seventh Jedi or something like that. It's fucking awesome. I like the animation style and the story's pretty good.
Yeah.
What was I gonna say?
There's just so
It was about
much.
Kenobi. Oh,
What do
I
you think
saw a
about the new
TikTok that
TV
described
actor?
it.
Sorry,
I was
go
good.
ahead.
No, it's okay. I said for my expectations for the show, it's perfectly encapsulated in a TikTok. I can't remember his name, but he says he's like making a joke like between 2 people. Like I have high expectations of this show, and if they fall short, it's probably still going to be one of my favorite pieces of anime or not anime, Star Wars media,
Yeah.
hands down. It's one of my.
I
favorite.
agree.
I feel like there's just so
Sure,
much.
I mean, that's
canon
literally
content,
like
so.
2 of the favoritists of fans' favorites.
There's just so much.
I think the
canon
fact that they're
content,
bringing
so
back-
I don't really care like what I miss because there's just so much more.
The fact that they're bringing back Ian McGregor and Hayden Christensen, I don't think even the most cringy Star Wars character or Star Wars fan is gonna hate this show.
No,
Yeah,
like I'm
it's
honestly more excited for Hayden. Not someone like I mean I love Ian McGregor for sure. Like and I love Obi-Wan, but I think it was just because like people literally like gave Hayden so much shit. Like even like as a kid and shit for the Star Wars roles, and like to the point where like he hated the fact that he was in the movies, and like now he can enjoy like his role in the movies. It's pretty cool. Like he'll get to be. And while it's happening, like people will like him currently. Like when it came out the last time, people are constantly like bitching about the way that he did Anakin and shit.
I don't know. I'm just very excited for this. I'm hoping there's a face reveal in front of Obi-Wan. He like connects the dots. That's so much potential in this show.
I feel like that it'll be like he'll break a glass and he'll just see his eye or something. And he'll be like,
They've already done that. I want them like do a whole face thing.
Yeah, I feel like you're not
that's why they'll
gonna
do that, just because they. But yeah, I guess if they're gonna bring him back, they'll probably.
That's what I was gonna say. If they're gonna fucking bring Hayden Christensen back, they're like, they could have easily just CGI'd Hayden Christensen's eye on someone else, right?
Yeah.
Like they brought the actor back. They're gonna do, whether it's to Obi or not, like they're gonna do a full face Hayden, like at some point in the series. Otherwise, what's the fucking point?
Yeah, I wonder if at any point, like, I guess, well, are they bringing back? Is it Edward James Olmos? Is that the guy who does Vader's voice?
Edward something Jones.
Earl Jones.
Oh, Earl Jones.
Jones.
Yeah.
Is it Earl Jones?
It's
I think Earl Jones.
James. Edward
Earl-
James.
Yeah,
I think Earl Jones is an animator. Hold on.
I think it's 3 names.
Earl Jones
So it's
James
something-
Earl Jones.
James Earl
James Earl
Earl
Jones.
Yeah, it's 3 first names. The only like fact I really know about the Star Wars like universe in terms of like the filming and shit, not like the actual like canon universe, is like the fact that James Earl Jones, all his lines he dubbed over afterwards, and the dude that like was the body for Vader didn't find out until he saw the movie that like they didn't use his voice. I was like, that's fucked.
If you ever like heard the original audio, he sounds super fucking corny.
Oh, does he? I never
it's really
tried
bad.
to find it.
It's like some white dude is just like, "You're a traitor to the Rebel Alliance. Take her away." Like,
That's some SpaceBar shit.
yeah. Are you a traitor to the Empire?
Like if you sound like that, you just have to
bad.
expect it. Can't even be. This sounds so much better.
I mean, honestly, that was like a very smart move on their part.
For sure, it's just wild that they didn't give him a heads up. Like, I'd at least be like, "Hey," it's like I think he like found out at the premiere. Like, imagine going to the premiere expecting to like be the main bad guy in this movie. You are never going to be associated with this role ever.
It'd be more funny if they made him do multiple takes. It's like, yeah, you didn't do that right.
I guarantee you that shit.
I did 35 takes here.
A whole day. They just dubbed over me. That would suck.
I feel like a big part of like the Hollywood cinematic thing is that you don't really know what's going to happen in the movie because it's so different when you shoot it, and nobody's in all of the scenes for the most part, right?
Yeah.
Unless it's one of those like 3 people or the whole cast movies. And then I know some people just take the role and they don't even care about the movie. Like I know, didn't the chick who played Pepper Potts, she's never seen a Marvel movie?
Yeah, I don't know if she's ever seen them, but what's her name? Gwyneth Paltrow.
Yeah, like she doesn't even know.
Like she barely knows anything. Like I've seen multiple interviews where they asked her questions. She was like, "Was I in that movie?" And they were like, "Yes." And she was just like, "Oh, okay." I'm just like,
well, it's like Elizabeth Olsen not recognizing. God, who is it? John Kronansky. In an interview, the interviewer puts a picture down of John Kronansky, and he's like, "Would you say this is the smartest man in the world?" And she was like, "I don't know who that is." And then they drill her, and she's like, "I'm sorry to whoever this man is, but I don't know who you are."
It's because so apparently, I think I was reading because I saw that, and like I was reading something where it's like they literally like they filmed that remotely or something, or like they were never on set together, so she literally never met him or something, or maybe it was another interview where she was, maybe it was in that interview where she was like, I literally didn't meet this person, like we filmed it not together. It's
just crazy that like first of all, I would say that John Krasinski is an A-list celebrity, right? He's like he's huge. He's been in The Quiet Places, 13 Hours. Like he's been in some giant blockbuster movies, and obviously The Office. Right? That Elizabeth Olsen cannot know who that is crazy. Like
I mean, but that also might have been her doing like typical Marvel actor. Like
I swear I'm not in the movie. I swear. I feel like I'm the werewolf.
Yeah.
The video seems super authentic, so...
Well, she's a pretty good actress.
That is true.
Her profession is lying.
But it's different when you have memorized lines. You should just watch the interview. Like,
right,
I'm 99% sure she doesn't know who the fuck he is.
Poor John.
Because I feel like he's really made it. Like,
for sure. Yeah, like he directed like the fucking whoever was directing the Fantastic Four movie that's supposed to be coming out dropped out, and
once Spider-Man director.
Yeah, once everybody saw John Krasinski in Multiverse of Madness, a lot of people have been like, I wonder if they'll let him direct it if he ends up being that Reed Richards, because like he's already done the first 2 Quiet Places, and those have been like pretty successful movies. And I'm sure he directed episodes of The Office at some point in the show. Like,
I don't know about that. Maybe produced. I don't know if directors just let other people direct for them. Yeah,
well, yeah, a lot, especially for like ensemble TV shows like that. There's when they go on for a long time, like especially towards the later seasons, they'll let cast members direct episodes.
Get that under their belt, accreditation.
Especially a lot of the people on The Office were like comedy writers, anyways. So
writing and directing are 2 different things. Most of the time, the director is not the writer.
No, for sure. But I guess it's in that situation. It's like directing and writing a TV show is pretty similar. You know what you're going for. I feel like that's just all a director has to know is what you're trying to get out of the words on the paper.
Pretty fair.
But I'm not directing, so.
Same.
How was everybody's week this week?
It's pretty chill. I don't know.
Well, it's not hot as fuck.
Yeah, the weather's been nice.
For sure.
It's only going up from here.
The rain, dude. I had to drive home in the rain yesterday, and I was telling Nathan on my way closer to my house, the rain was coming at me, and my window was fogging up, so I was just looking at gray on my way home with like random red spots that were fucking headlights. Like I was on 30 and we were going 30, maybe even 20 miles an hour. It was like that bad.
Like every day.
Yeah, that's a commute though. I don't know how you do that.
Just grit my teeth and bear it.
I had to go into the office this week, back to back at day.
You're getting out of that job.
I don't know.
You've been talking about it for 6 months.
I know. But now it's like game time. His replacement is going to be 5% as good. He's just new to the field. He's not new to the entire facilities field, but he's new to like how we do things and the programs we use and like how the processes go. And he has no answers for any questions. And he's got a couple weeks, and then he's on his own, and he's gonna rely even heavier on us. And I know that my work scope is gonna go up, and I don't get paid enough for that shit. Oh.
Good.
So you're leaving
eventually. I just gotta find out. I don't know. I need to figure out if I want to stay in this field or move to a different field. I haven't made up my mind yet.
Field did you move into?
No, that's the thing. I don't know. I know it wouldn't be sales. I fucking hate sales, but I've done facilities for 6.5 years, and it's like almost all I know at this point. I've just
you try to
done so much
to get a couple certifications and just go in IT.
I'd say you should just take a coding course.
I would say just start applying places. Like
I'm in 2 coding courses right now.
Nice.
There's a lot of clients, like especially with how many corporations are headquartered here. I'm sure I could find a facilities position on the client side that'll pay fucking 35 grand more than what I make now. Take it there for however long.
Yeah, I mean that's how I felt. That's how I felt with my old job, where it's just like before I left, it's just like I don't know if I want to stay in that field or not. It's just like I I was in that job for like 4 years. So it's just like I don't really know what other field that I would go into. Like for somebody that doesn't have like a college degree or something, like your options are a bit limited. And then I would never have guessed that the field that I'm in now would have been a field that I would end up in, but I enjoy it and I got a significant raise to do it. So that's been pretty chill.
Yeah.
How do you guys, completely off topic? So there's what? Bohemian Rhapsody, Rocket Man that I can think of that's come out recently. There's an Elvis biopic coming out. How do you guys feel about biopics? Because personally, I don't think I'm a fan of them. They're like, I think they try too much to get a emotional response, and it's like kind of like an emotionally draining thing to watch.
Seen any of
I
them?
feel like it
I
depends.
think it just depends on who it is. Like Rocket Man and Bohemian Rhapsody, both whatever. But when you think of like Walk the Line or Ray, I think those are two.
I was thinking about the Temptations, like mini.
Ain't nobody coming to see you, Otis.
Yeah, I like that, but I might be a little biased.
They're doing so many of those. I've been getting bombarded with the Sex Pistols one.
Yeah.
On YouTube, it's just called Pistols.
Straight Outta Compton.
But
there's the Tom, Pam, and Tommy one too.
I like the Straight Outta Compton.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, I guess that is a biopic. Yeah, I like that too. But they weren't like trying to make me.
I think you just don't have anything to relate to Freddie Mercury or Elton John, and you didn't enjoy the movies.
I like Queen. Who doesn't like Queen?
No, for sure, but there's a difference between liking their music and like
wanting to hear a story about them.
Yeah, wanting to hear a story about the main character.
Kind of like a generational thing too. Like I feel like those movies were definitely appealing to the two generations before us because it's like that was a big part of their music. So even like NWA, you know, we weren't around like coherently for the hype of NWA, but I mean, still gas.
It definitely was around for the height of the Temptations, but I like that. Yeah. But I think it's because I saw it when I was younger. It's like more a nostalgia thing than it is like, oh, this is like a really good movie. And I think it's also because if I'm gonna go sit for 2 hours, I'd rather be entertained than feel like I know somebody deeper. I don't know.
There's gonna be a Jamie Foxx, Mike Tyson like miniseries biopic that I'm pretty excited for.
Those are both good.
But that's just because I really like both of those. Like I really fuck with Mike Tyson, and I like Jamie Foxx enough.
I feel like Jamie Foxx pretending to be Mike Tyson is gonna be gold.
He's such a good impersonator.
He really is. It's crazy. There's been a lot of like internet outrage in the midst of like that. I mean, like Jamie Foxx, because pictures were just leaked of him like on a boat with his new boo, whatever, and it's a white chick, and they look genuinely happy. Like, and it is what it is. But a lot of people are like, you know, are y'all gonna bring the same rage because LeBron's son had come out and like posted a picture with him and his girlfriend, and he's dating a white girl also, and like people he's a child, bro. First of all, he's a kid, but people were like, "Oh, LeBron, I can't believe you're letting your son date a white girl after you're like all pro-black," and it's just so fucking stupid.
It just feels like reverse. Like I don't know, man. Like it just feels like the definition of racism, right? I don't know.
It is.
It's definitely coming from a bigoted place, 100%. But I don't think it's
coming from black.
It's definitely the same. Like at the core of it, it's the same intentions, just for different reasons. Like at the core of it, it's still like they're essentially like advocating for segregation for some reason. Like,
I mean, it's the same thing as like, if you're Vietnamese, your parents want you to
no, for sure,
a Vietnamese person. Like it's the same thing. Like it's usually like the only people that I can think of is I can't remember his name. I think it's like Umar or something. Or maybe Omar, I don't know. It's that dude that's like super pro black.
I feel like in that situation, it's typically like mothers want their child to marry somebody of the same culture, whereas in this situation, it's the public being upset that he married somebody of a different culture rather than like what his parents fucking give a shit about.
I mean, I'll just say it. It's probably a majority black women that have a problem with it, because that's usually who has a problem with a black man dating a white girl. It's black women and white people. That's literally the problem. That's literally who has a problem with it. Yeah, it's just
diet segregation and segregation.
And honestly, yeah, I can't remember this dude's name, but I was gonna say it was Hitman Black Women. It's a dude. He's like a bunch of memes. When I see him,
while you're looking it up, Avs played last. Well, they almost gave up that fucking lead.
They did.
My heart was pounding, but they won. So
no team in NBA history has come back from an 0-3 deficit in the playoffs.
If they continue to play the way they played last night, there's no doubt in my mind that they'll make it and they'll do that. But I don't see.
I think they're too much in a hole.
7 teams have come back from an 0-3 and made it 3-3 and then lost. Yeah. But no team has ever come back from an 0-3 and won 4 in a row. If they continue,
if the role players continue to perform really well and make their shots, then I definitely think that it's possible. I mean, they shot 20 of 43 from beyond the 3 last night. So that's phenomenal, right? Like, that's high 40s percentage. But you can't, like, the game before that, it was Dinwiddie, Brunson, and Luka have put up 86 of the 100 points. That leaves, 7 other people that put up 16 points total, starting or coming off the bench. That's stupid. That's so dumb. Like, it just doesn't make sense. And now, like, they're finally hitting their shots, which is kind of how it went in the Phoenix series, so we'll see.
Yeah, but in the Phoenix series, we did that when we were 2 games behind.
Yeah, not 3.
Now we're 3 games behind. You cannot fuck up.
Not even a little bit, yeah.
You have to be on for 4 games.
Which, I mean,
that's hard.
It's going to be hard.
In any sport.
But I don't know. They play so much better at facing elimination. Just such a fucking bummer, bro. Either way, I'm excited for how they're performing. I saw something that was like Mavs fans or something talking about picking up Rubio. I think would be.
Wish I knew who that was.
Yeah, I was about to say the guy from Hook.
Great movie.
That dude is been in so many things. He comes up on my TikTok all the time. And he
residual checks.
Yeah, he does like residual check lottery where he just like opens his mail and just kind of like decides what type of lunch he's gonna have based off of like the size of the check that the random check that he just got in the mail. And it varies from shit where like he was obviously an Avatar, he was in Hook, but then he'll like get something where like, oh, a 1 episode appearance in like Boy Meets World or
he's in Fresh Prince apparently.
Yeah, like Fresh Prince, like probably like the Cosby Show. Like he's just been in like literally everything.
As a child, growing up, right?
Yeah, the Cosby Show.
What was your favorite, like Boy Meets World, Saved by the Bell, Fresh Prince type show? Wholeheartedly. Fresh Prince.
What's our age group here?
I mean,
we're all in the same group.
I'd say like
no, 100.
No, he meant like what age are we watching?
Yeah, what age are we? Because like for sure, 100%
like 9 to
like
14.
I would say like because like 7 to 12, it was like all Pokemon, all like Pokemon, Static Shock, pretty much anything that was in the Saturday morning
live
lineup.
Action. I think
Yu-Gi-Oh, like all of that shit, right? But I feel like Boy Meets World and shit. It wasn't like a Saturday morning show, right? So I would watch it when it was on, but I would never be like excited for a new episode of Boy Meets World, right? Like when Boy Meets World was on, I would watch it, and I could watch 100 episodes straight, but it was never like, oh, this is where we left off of Boy Meets World. Here's what's happening next, like it would be with like Yu-Gi-Oh or Pokemon or Static Shock or whatever. Boy Meets World would be like, it would just be like any episode that was on at the time, like I can watch it. Like I'm not watching it in order. It was just a great show to watch when it was on. Right. It's kind of like Home, like I even watched like Home Improvement when I was like younger.
That was a That's a fantastic.
But it was never like there's a new episode of Home Improvement on, right? There's a new episode of Boy Meets. Like, from what I remember,
I guess I was like that with Home Improvement because that was like on ABC and that came on like Wednesday nights, or no, that might have been on like their TGIF lineup or some shit. But I remember, like, I guess actively watching new episodes of that when I was younger.
I think the show that I also actively watched,
Malcolm in the Middle, I fucked with heavy.
The first show I actively started watching, so it was like getting home and like that was the peak of my day. Was coming home and waiting for it was NCIS. OG,
great show. I watched that with my mom.
This is when you ever ask that question. I was like, are you going to be like, are we like talking about sitcoms? Are we talking about sitcoms that are pointed towards tweens? Because you said Boy Meets World. And whatever you said, and then you said NCIS.
Yeah. Well, that was like my
you jumped.
The first time I remember like waiting on new episodes was NCIS. But like yes, like sitcoms, like
because I was over here thinking like I fucked with Family Matters pretty hard. I fucked with Ned's Declassified pretty fucking hard.
The biggest show that I followed was Sons of Anarchy because it would come out on Fridays or Saturdays. It was like a day, and I was 16, and I was working at 16 or 17. I was at a pizza joint, and so every Friday during the whole season, like me and like four of my buddies, like Tanner, Anthony, JD, Andrew, I would get a pizza from my pizza joint and bring it, and then they would bring beer, and we'd go to my buddy's JD's house because his dad didn't care if we drank. And we would drink and eat pizza and smoke cigarettes and watch Sons of Anarchy every week during the whole season, and then like. You know what I'm saying? Like, then the new season would, like, be about to drop, and we'd be excited for, like, 3 weeks and, like, watching the trailers and, like, planning to, like, start up every Friday, like, we're going to hit this up. And so that was the first show that...
It wasn't.
I liked every season of that show, honestly.
I didn't like how it...
Never seen it.
I mean, how else can you end it? I liked... It was very Game of Thrones.
It just seemed like they phoned in some of it. Like, there was a lot of, like, there was a lot of CGI in the last season for some reason.
I just liked that nobody was safe, right? It was very Game of Thronesy before Game of Thrones. Like, they killed a lot of major characters just, like, over and over again. Like, fucking spoilers from a show that's been over for 10 years. Opie dies, Tara dies, fucking Clay dies.
In real life.
What should I just say? I've never seen it, and you guys are spoiling it for me now. Wow.
Because you're going to watch it?
Not, but...
It's a great show. You should watch it.
Show.
Oh, now I won't.
I know who dies.
There's a character that in real life murdered his elderly landlady and then fell off a roof and died.
Karma.
Yeah.
It was like a psychotic break or some shit.
That is wild.
Oh. I feel bad.
He
like murdered his neighbor and her cat.
Pretty instant.
For his landlady.
Not the cat.
What the cat doing?
The old woman lived a full life. She was elderly.
The cat was waiting on that meal.
I'll let you get by with racism, but when it comes to animal cruelty, I'll draw the line there.
You can excuse racism.
Oh man, that's a community quote for anybody listening.
Yeah, but
Great show.
I agreed.
That's one of the shows I binged when we were talking. Sorry, not to back channel, but like one of the shows that like you're happy that every season's already out because you can just binge it. Community, I watched in like 2 weeks.
I just watched it.
All 6 seasons
for the first time.
It took me an extremely long time to watch it for the first time. I did. I was just like, oh, I'm glad that I'm not happy that I avoided it for so long, but at the same time, like y'all said, it was like, I'm glad I could just binge all of this at once and I don't have to wait for anything.
Facts.
I remember whenever I tried to tell you how good it was, you said that it was shitty. And I was just like,
no, I don't know if I said it.
Don't you fucking gaslight me.
No, I said I don't like Chevy Chase because he's a racist asshole.
No, that was one of the reasons, but you said it was not a funny show. And it was not good. I
didn't like Joel McHale and Chevy Chase, and they were two of my Joel McHale's character did kind of stay one of my least favorite characters throughout the entire series, but there were points where Pierce said some wild shit that I thought was hilarious.
I'm just saying, man.
But I do
feel doubted me with Community, and then you doubted me with Rhea Ripley, but now you've seen the light.
Just started.
I hate that half of the streaming services are going back to a week by week. I fucking hate that. I hate
think
it
we've talked about this before on
so
the
much.
podcast.
Yeah, but it keeps their platform engaged.
It does keep their platform and their subscribers. It
I
keeps
mean,
the platform engaged and keeps people
I
subscribed.
understand it. Like
Very annoying.
business wise, it's definitely super smart.
I just
But like even like what did I just not even watch until it was all the way out? I just did it with something. I think Moon Knight I didn't watch until like 5 episodes. I watched like the first 2 episodes, and then I waited for the series to be over so I could binge it.
Can't do that just because like I have nothing to watch. Like everything that I watch, is something that I'm rewatching. So when like a new Marvel show comes out, it's just like
Watching a lot.
What's the new
can't
Marvel
stand.
show?
I mean, the next one,
Miss Marvel?
Right, the Indian chick. Gotcha.
it's either Miss Marvel or She-Hulk.
It's actually called.
Yeah, it's just like I literally have nothing new to watch. So like when shit like that comes out, it's like it's not. I don't know. I just can't wait another 8 weeks to have new shit to watch again.
Yeah.
Have you seen Evil yet?
No, I don't even know what that is.
You should watch Evil.
Is it on Paramount?
Yes. The 3rd season's about to
You know what
drop.
else is on Paramount?
That's the reason why I haven't watched it.
iCarly.
1883.
Series.
For sure. Have you watched Mayors of Kingstown?
You'll see. Are you talking about?
It's so good. Yeah, Hawkeye.
Yeah, I really want to see that.
Jeremy Renner.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Wow.
It's so good. You should, if you have nothing to watch, you should definitely watch
I'm just
that.
biding my time.
You guys
until
know he has
the
a.
last 3.
He makes music.
There's a bunch of shit on Apple right now too that looks really good. Like I'm already watching like 4 different shows right now, so I haven't started any of them. But there's like a bunch of psychological thrillers. There's a bunch of crazy shit dropping. And I heard Foundation was super good. I want to get into it. That's based on like a best-selling book series on Apple TV. Like there's a lot of shit being slept on Apple TV right now. But I'm deep in The Newsroom, which is a show that came out in like the mid to early 2010s. That's got 3 seasons. I'm on like halfway through season 1. We're watching Chernobyl because we never watched Chernobyl, so we're on episode 3 of that. I'm watching Succession on HBO, so that's on its 2nd season.
I was watching. They came out with a new Law and Order dropped.
Yeah.
I saw that. I did not give it a chance.
I'll never give it a chance.
I love it's organized crime, and I fuck with organized crime. So I was like, oh, this could be interesting, and it's not good.
I could imagine that it would be not good.
It's like they're just ruining the characters that I loved in SVU.
I feel like Criminal Intent wasn't even that good. Like the only saving grace for the whole Law and Order series was SVU. 100%.
I liked Vincent DeForno in Criminal Intent. Like there were episodes where he was like carrying that series. I mean, he carried that series overall, I think. But for the most part, it was whatever.
Did anybody watch the new X-Files? I know they dropped one, and I never watched it.
I watched old X-Files.
I watched old X-Files, not religiously, but like
it's too young for
reruns.
I was more into The Simpsons and shit like that when that was on.
But I'm watching Vikings. I'm watching Peaky Blinders. After Vikings, I want to watch Vikings Valhalla and The Last Kingdom.
How deep into Peaky Blinders are you?
Season 4.
Peaky
Season 6 comes out pretty soon, right?
I love that show.
So I'm just like in so much shit. But there's like 7 Apple TV series that are saved in my watch list right now that I need to watch.
I'm just
that looks super fucking good.
Out, like Ted Lasso season 3 and then Pennyworth.
Did you watch Outer Range?
I saw the first episode, and I was like,
"It's pretty good." I watched
the
it.
ending blew my mind. I was like, "What a bitch!"
Of the first episode, yeah. Just wait till you get to the ending of the 2nd episode. That's where it really like blows your fucking mind. You're like, and then you have to binge it from that point on because you got to know what happens.
Yeah, I will say that's like probably the first 2 episodes are like some
8 or 10. The first season's out. It dropped the season. Okay. Amazon Prime is the only one that I think that hasn't gone to at least one show where they did a week by week. Because even Netflix did Arcane, 3 miniseries, 3 mini trilogies. I don't know. But yeah, they did it it's so far out. I would guess 2024.
I don't know. I can't remember when with the new season of The Boys, plus like the other. I think they're doing like a comic or not a comic, like a cartoon version of it as
They
well.
did, and I saw a TikTok today of who's the main character in The Boys? Superman dude.
Homelander.
Yeah, Homelander fights.
But yeah, his Homelander is
Omni-Man.
I saw the trailer, like that they're like utilizing a pill to make him a soup for a little bit.
Spoiler alert for Multiverse of Madness, but that scene where Wanda was going ham gave me like strong, incredible, like Omni-Man vibes when he's killing their Justice League.
And there's nothing they can do about it. Nothing at all. Like, so many people are trying to stop you, and you're just killing them. Like,
I think that's what the first episode, right? Yeah, the Drew had told me to like Drew. That's like a show he recommended, and like I didn't think I realized that it was an hour-long episode. And like I started it, and then like I was watching it before I went to bed, and then like that scene happened, and I was like, "What the fuck is this show about?" And god damn, that was dark.
Oh, you're talking about
like.
All right, Drew. I need you. You gotta cut it in. Got to. That was the perfect pause. Solid.
Sure. Me. If you've seen the show, you know what he's talking about.
Are you excited for the? Is anybody excited for the elves story of the Witcher universe?
No,
I think you're the Witcher guy, Kyle.
You are indeed the Witcher guy.
I didn't even watch this. The second season came out, right?
Yeah,
I think I watched the first 2 episodes of the first season.
Apparently, Reddit hates it.
Or like Reddit hates it.
Like a lot of like Witcher fans, I guess it like deviates. You've read the books. Does the show deviate from the books like a lot?
You gotta understand that the books were written in like the late 90s, right? So they're super slow paced books. Like it's like the Lord of the Rings.
Right.
Like they're like you have to have adaptation to make it flow, right?
You have to abridge it.
Like even in the book, like the first book I could think of, I think there's 2 fights in an 18-hour book. Like the rest of it is like world building and him traveling and then like learning about species and then just interactions with other humans, and then like it also like jumps from like perspective to perspective. But I mean, it's good. It's just
that's how I feel. I've been reading a lot of Stephen King books, and that's how like I've watched, and then I've watched like the corresponding movie. So just I don't know. I like doing that shit with books and movies in general.
Yeah, 100%.
And I've noticed like for the Stephen King books, I think the main difference is like a lot of the books are told from like like an inner monologue narrative type shit of like one person giving you detailed like reasons for why he's feeling this or doing this, and like you can't really do a movie like that. Yeah, like you've got to have different points of views. But like yeah, there's a lot of his. I'm fucking hours and like a solid 12 to 13 hours into it, if not more. And like he's shown up a couple times, but like they've never like it's just been all as like kind of like throwaway comments, as almost like when they bring up an experience of him doing something. Like it hasn't gotten to the point where they're like, we gotta like actually fight this thing, or like the kids haven't even gotten together as a group of friends yet, all of them. Yeah. And it's like I'm like, how like it's a 38-hour long audiobook, I think, and I'm just like, Jesus fucking Christ, this man is wordy for no reason.
Stephen King writes the longest books. I just read there's a Paramount series on his longest book that he ever wrote, which was The Stand, and both the book, which is 48 hours long, and the show, which is a 10-episode series, are phenomenal. So after 8, I would recommend The Last Stand, because I would watch the show first because the book is kind of fucking slow. And so if you watch the show first, at least you can visualize characters, and it's much easier to put faces to names and places, and then you get a much more interactive feel. So the one big difference is in the show. So in the book, there's like 8 main characters, right? And each like chapter jumps from a character, right? So you get a little bit of character A, and then a little bit of character B, and a little bit of character C, and then it jumps back to character A, and then jump back. In the show, each episode is a character, right? So you watch the
cool.
episode A character, and then you watch the episode B character, and the episode C character, and then like it kind of ties them all together as the show progresses. It's a super good show, and then the book is also good, but super long, so there's a lot of filler.
I'll show you my
like that's.
episode.
That reminds me of. I also just finished 11/22/63.
I've watched like 2 episodes of that.
The book is. I liked the book way more than I liked the TV show. But I will say both of those make me, and the fact that I've just been listening to a lot of audiobooks lately, I just wish more like books got miniseries adaptations. Like not everything
Percy
needs
Jackson.
movies. Right? Yeah, like that. I'm so happy
excited
that that's getting a TV show and not movies, because like that's too big of a story to try to condense down into like movies, and then like if one movie doesn't do good, then you're not gonna get it finished, and like it's okay if a couple episodes are a little slow, like you're still gonna get the rest of the season.
Have you read Dan Brown?
Mm-mm.
You should read Dan Brown next, because the books are immaculate. First of all, they're super good, and then all of the adaptations are pretty good. So Tom Hanks has 3 movies based on the books, and then a miniseries just dropped, or no, not a miniseries, a regular series just dropped on Peacock.
Oh, it's the Angels and Demons guy and the Da Vinci Code dude.
The Da Vinci Code, Angels and Demons, and then Inferno.
Yeah, I think I've seen, like, I recognize
Are the Tom Hanks movies based on the Dan Brown books, and then they just dropped a Peacock series called The Lost Symbol, which is based on a Dan Brown book, which is different universe, not Tom Hanks, but it's a series, and so they get to do the storytelling a lot better.
Right.
Those books are super in depth.
Yeah, I'll have to check those out.
Super good. Highly recommended. One of my favorite authors is Dan Brown.
That's one of my favorite, like, I don't know what you would call it, like, genre of books. Like, books that have had movie or, like, some sort of film adaptation.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd call that a genre or just something that
I don't know. Yeah, like, as it says, like, I don't know what type of, like, what to call it, but, like, I've listened to a lot. Like, in my Audible thing, like, I have a whole, like, collection, because you can create your own collection of just books that I've seen the movie or TV show on.
Speaking of, they're doing that with the book series that I just read, the James Reese series, which was written by Zach Carr. It's about a special ops guy whose family gets killed, and the TV series is about to drop on Amazon Prime and
what's it called again?
The Terminal List. It's got Guardians of the Galaxy. Chris Pratt plays the main character, James Reese, and it looks like it's going to be really good. I'm super excited.
What platform?
Amazon Prime.
We'll do it good.
You read
Prime
the Jack
Okay, hold on. Before we jump off of this. So this guy's story is crazy. Zach Carr. He was a giant Grisham fan whenever he was young, who was a famous like military special forces writer. And so what he did is he knew that he wanted to be that same type of writer, but he wanted to do it with like the most authenticity possible. So he joined the Navy and became a Navy SEAL and was a Navy SEAL on the SEAL teams for 20 fucking years, and then got out of the Navy, retired, and started writing books.
Way to do it. For that's crazy.
So all of his shit is pinpoint accuracy. But whenever he gives interviews, he talks about how he like grew up on the books, and he was like, I want to be a writer, but I want to be a writer with authenticity. So first, I'm going to spend the first 20 years of my life learning everything I can about the military.
That's crazy.
Wow.
It's crazy. And then, like, you got to think, like, if he joins with 18, he's 38 when he gets out, right? That's, like, as you get older, 38 seems so much younger than it did when you were 15. Yeah. Like, that's, like, deathbed when you're 15. But, like
12 years from where I'm at currently.
38?
7 for me.
Oh, 38? That's not even 12 years. It's 10.
I was about to say, I was like, motherfucker, you were not 26, bitch. You tried it.
That's 10 years away. That's not that long.
But sorry, yeah. You were about to talk about...
I was going to ask you, you read the Jack Reacher books, didn't you?
I didn't read the Reacher books, but the new series makes me really want to read it, because I didn't know
That's John Krasinski, right?
No, it's Thad Castle. He's dead. He did have
No, the movie was Tom Cruise.
He did have a show. I think he was in a Reacher show, but that castle was in the newest Amazon Prime Jack Reacher. It's pretty good.
Yeah, so I didn't know that it was even a book until the Prime series came out, because when the Prime series came out, like, there was obviously such a contrast between Tom Cruise and that big motherfucker. And I found out that, like, in the books, he's supposed to be like 6'8", like 400 fucking pounds of pure muscle. And after seeing that, I'm like, dude, they cast him so well for the TV series. And the TV series was so good. It was so good. I enjoyed it thoroughly. It's like Shooter. I think the Shooter TV series is way better than the Mark Wahlberg movie.
I forgot all about that TV. I think I saw like the first 3 seasons.
There's 3 seasons now.
But
it's so good.
I might have to rewatch that because it was really good, but it's completely
really good. I feel like slept on too.
Written over by other TV shows in my mind.
There's so many, bro. There's so much content to absorb. Like, it doesn't even make sense.
Is it just called Shooter?
Yeah, same as the movie.
Bob Lee. It's on Netflix.
It's so good, and his wife is so.
What is that guy? Oh, that guy was in Upgrade. I don't know if y'all saw that.
Yeah, he's the guy that looks like Iceman from the original X-Men, but he's not.
Yeah,
I feel like he could be Iceman's brother.
No, I just found out that. You know the FBI agent from Transformers. The Italian guy that's like really animated,
No.
John, what's his name? John Turturro. He was in Uncut Gems. Is the dude, the old Italian dude with the mustache
with the jewelry shop?
You would definitely recognize him. Or John Tortella. Oh, nope,
Just
that's
pull
not
it up on stream.
Yeah. This guy.
Oh, yeah.
I recently found out that he's married, or not married. He's related to Bruce from The Longest Yard. The guy that's like, I knew I shouldn't have eaten that popcorn. That's his brother. This guy. Brucey. That's his brother. They look the same, so I guess I can like see it now.
I wouldn't say they look the same.
I mean, it's not the same, but they look like they could be related. So. Like, yeah.
I feel like he looks like the brother of the guy from Ant-Man who tells the long stories.
Yeah, I can see that. I can't remember that dude's name.
You know, the guy from Ant-Man who tells really long stories is what I call him.
Yeah.
I think we should call it, though. Hour 15.
Sure.
We learned that Drew hates books. He didn't say a single word during the entire book
I'm
adaptation.
trying to make it easier to edit because I'm going to be honest with everybody listening. The first part of this podcast was shit. So I was just trying to get as much content in and make it easier for me to edit. So that's what I was doing.
That's something you can edit.
It's not much. All right, guys. It was good episode. Good talking to everybody.
Adios.
Hasta luego.